Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Mass Appeal on this Wednesday morning. It's beautiful outside. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ashley Cole. Seth Stutman is off this week. He's on vacation, but I am in Studio 1A with the Green Thumb Guru. Master Gardener Ed Sordiff is here, and we're talking about hydrangeas. They are a beautiful flower, and I'm going to admit something. I have them planted in my front yard, yet no one would know. They just look like a green mess. So I know I've made some mistakes. So you're here to help everyone.
Yes, that's actually, when you have a hydrangea that doesn't flower, that's a common problem. Hydrangeas can be a little bit difficult with the pruning, and that's really what makes them a problem. There are a bunch of different types of hydrangeas. So you have, we have a couple, and that's where you do with your pruning. We have a couple big leaf hydrangeas here. You can tell they actually have a really big leaf as opposed to this type, which is more like an Annabelle. It has a smaller type of leaf. So these two are the big leaves. You can tell big leaf hydrangeas, they usually have the purples and blues and the pinks colored there. These always get white. I left this little last year's flower on it to show about the size that it would be, and here's this year's flowers actually starting already, so they'll be coming out in a little bit, a couple more weeks. They'll be getting bigger and on there.
They're beautiful. There's something, I mean, there's something about them. It kind of just looks like it's like a Massachusetts flower, you know, kind of very Cape Cod.
Well, there are oak leaf hydrangeas as a type, and actually its leaf looks like oak leaves, and that's why they call them that, and that's actually a native. The Annabelles, in the Annabelle family, you have natives too, and then these are not in the front here. The two here are the big leaf hydrangeas. This one's actually called a lace cap, because if you look inside the flower here, the center has this tiny little flowers that actually look like lace, and those are the fertile flowers. These on the outside are not fertile, so they're just really to attract the butterflies and stuff. And then over here we have like more of a mop head, which is just a big old moppy head.
You can see, yeah. So this is still a hydrangea.
Yeah, they're both hydrangeas, yes.
But they, I mean, there's obviously, of course, different types of hydrangeas, but do you care for them all the same?
Yes, all hydrangeas really would prefer morning sun and afternoon shade. You can actually see this one here. If I actually pluck up one of these leaves, probably got a little bit too much sun. It's a little bit burnt, or it could have gotten a little bit too much fertilizer. They don't like that either.
Okay.
So that's a nice composted commoner does very well with them. So they really like to have partial shade. 3 to 6 hours of sun is more than ideal. So
it's definitely not full sun.
No, not full sun. They don't appreciate that at all. And actually, there's one type of hydrangea which I used to have. It's an excellent hydrangea. It's called a climbing hydrangea, and it will actually, it's like a vine. It will climb on your house or on a trellis. It's perfect in an eastern exposure or the northern side of your house, which it's hard to find things that'll grow there. And that will grow up nice. It'll have this type of foliage. You'll have beautiful little white flowers all over it. It takes a while to get started, but once it gets going, it's beautiful, and it's nice to have around.
Yeah, so you put the work in, but then you have something that comes back year after year that you don't have to worry about once you get it all.
And just clean it up a bit by pruning if you ever see any dead branches, and that's it. And
it's
it comes
beautiful.
back.
Now let's talk about color. Now here we see pink, we see bluish purple. Now you can actually control the color of your hydrangea flowers.
Yes, that's actually true, and you can't really do that with any other plant, so that's what makes hydrangeas actually kind of unique and really kind of cool. If you have a flowering plant that has white flowers, it's going to stay white. But if you get one that's either pink or this bluish color, you can actually change their colors and switch them. So to make your plant blue, it likes to have an acidic soil. In New England, we have a lot of acid soil, so that it'll be more blue. And if you don't have enough acid in your soil, you can actually get a product called aluminum sulfate. It will acidify the soil, and it'll help make your flowers blue. You can actually also do coffee grounds. Use coffee grounds. You can put them around the plant, and then you can just keep watering them in, and that'll help make it acidic too. Now, if you like the pink style here, you can actually take your blue and make it pink, but you know, there's different varieties that come basically in this color anyway. And what you would do is add more lime to the soil, and then just keep liming the soil, and you would actually just water that in, and then you would get that beautiful pink.
That's so cool how you can do that.
Yeah, I know, isn't it? It's crazy.
And what about that, like a light green? Where does that come from?
Well, that would be along the blue spectrum.
Oh, it would.
Some plants would be more predisposed to have that kind of emerald color. So if you go to the store and you want that color, you would look for the plant that does have that initially. And then you'll be able to make sure your plant at home will have that.
And really quickly, we're out of time, Ed, but you don't want to trim down your hydrangeas completely in the fall.
Yeah, some you can, like an Annabelle you can just trim that even in the spring. But some, like these big leaves, you do not want to do that because they're going to grow some of their flowers next year on the last year's wood. So what you're going to do, I know you're having problems with your husband, keeps cutting down your hydrangeas. Well, what you have to do is make him resist that. Don't let him do it, and then
let it grow.
And let it just be there all winter. And then if it looks still bad in the spring, just let it stay there till May or June, and then you will finally get your flowers on your plant.
Okay, so hubby, if you heard that, we don't cut back the hydrangeas. Now we learned something. Thank goodness for you, Ed. And we're not done with you yet. We're going to talk about how to attract monarch butterflies to your yard in just a bit. Thanks so much for being here.
You're welcome.